dragons. Now, everybody knows what a dragon is. Breathing, flying lizards that have been around for centuries. And been known down in stories of mythology for as longer than some nations has been around. Dragons are truly mythical and are truly something that when you add dragons in your story, it's probably gonna be cool if it's done right. And dragons as a concept have been around for centuries, from medieval times to all the way until the time of Tolkien, where he most nobly used them in fantasy, and even towards the time of the writing of the old of the writing of the late New Testament, which would writing of the New Testament or Bible, where they would call the Antichrist a dragon. Ridiculous. And so dragons have been around for thousands upon thousands of years. They've been known to be fire breathing monsters. And everybody knows what dragons are. And the most commonly known into fantasy worlds, such as Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, maybe Narnia, and whatever else. They have dominated fantasy for years, alongside with elves, dwarves, I'm trying to think of knights, and whatever. So, dragons are probably some of the most common known mythical creatures and pieces of symbol. Popular ones, switching how many times they've been used into a story. They've even been used in Supernatural. Now that's when you know you made a story. And they will turn into people. You know what a dragon looks like? Yeah, they turn into normal guys. But this is the Indiana Jones channel. Why is the Indiana Jones channel talking about dragons? Well, see, well, my dear viewer, Indiana Jones has dealt with weird things before. He dealt with Nazi zombies. He dealt with the Philosopher's Stone. Well, there was a comic book that came out 2 years, and he has even dealt with dragons. Yes, Indiana Jones has dealt with dragons. So Indiana Jones has dealt with dragons, and on this video I will go over what type of dragons there are in the universe, and what else is there in the universe. Now, this is getting... Now, two things. I won't be explaining the types of... Now, India has only had 2 cases of dragons in this franchise, and 2 of them might not be canon. I already made a video about over a year ago explaining India canon, and it's essentially a case of an area of, take it with a grain of salt. So, don't see this as actually true, maybe. It depends. So, yeah. And this could all be retconned, but anyway. The first time there was the most major time there was a dragon in Indiana Jones was in the Emperor's Tomb. Well, it was a standard Indiana Jones game. It was beloved by fans over and has gone down as one of the best Indiana Jones video games. Now, as somebody who hasn't played it, and it was on Game Pass for a long time, but when I got Game Pass, they took it off. Thanks, Xbox. Thanks, Microsoft. But anyway, because of that, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb has been a beloved game. But there is something weird. At the final level, you get... At the final with Indiana Jones 1, you fight ghosts. Man, I shouldn't have done this video in October. Yeah, you fight ghosts, which means ghosts, dragons, heaven, hell, maybe heaven and hell. Greek, oh gee, winning our Atlantis. And dragons, God, and whatever else exists. So, you fight a dragon that's much more of the Asian type. Which are basically, well, gods. Yeah, I don't really know how you would kill God. But yeah, so because of that, Indiana Jones fights basically a god, and this means yeah. But because of that, that means dragons exist in the Indiana Jones world with the Emperor's Tomb. And this is only the second time there was a dragon in the Indiana Jones franchise. Second. And the first time was in the Further Adventures of Indiana Jones comic books from the 1990s, produced on the Marvel. Now, these comic books kind of get insane, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably no longer canon to the Indiana Jones franchise. Now, again, looking out Disney, both owned Marvel and Indy at this point, they could probably bring them back, but that's more of a maybe. And in the case scenario of like those ideas, if the comics do actually get released, I will be getting them. But this isn't about how crazy they are. This is just about one specific comic book where they had a dragon in them. Yes, especially with the Indiana Jones comic books got a bit weird. Got a bit weird in the 1980s. Especially with but I will be going over one comic book, and that's Indiana Jones Dragon by the Trail. Dragon by the Trail. Now, this comic book was released in the 80s and has Indiana Jones deals with the Japanese military. He finds a dragon, and then chaos ensues. I am not making this up. And this is an battle, and Indy almost dies by the dragon. So much so that the dragon would attack the United States of America. I am not making this up. Well, almost. And because of that, Indy has to stop the Japanese from using the dragon to, conquer the United States of America. And normal Indiana Jones shenanigans ensue. But yes, dragons do exist in the Indiana Jones world. And so does this mean Indiana Jones is fantasy? I actually might make a video explaining, would Indiana Jones count as fantasy? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But Indy has dealt with weird things before, and this probably isn't even the weirdest thing that Indiana Jones has dealt with. And that's considering Indy has dealt with even more weird things and more magical things before. He found Atlantis, so yeah. He dealt with ghosts, he dealt with aliens, so whatever else may soon come our way. That's considering Indiana Jones also dealt with witches. But see you next time, archaeologists.